Tonight, how kids and parents are feeling about schools no longer requiring masks when students return from March break.
We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. Not quite yet. Yeah, it's a bit of a change, isn't it?
Yeah.
Despite attempts by the TDSB to extend the mask mandate, the province is standing firm, saying it's gone beginning on Monday. Plus,
there was a call to action to go and volunteer at the border region of Poland and Ukraine. And that is what I did.
We speak to a healthcare worker from Mississauga helping Ukrainians at the Polish border as they flee the war in their country. And
it's me, Mario!
I'm Batman.
I'm Jinx from Arcane.
Let the cosplay begin. After a 2-year hiatus, Toronto Comic-Con is back with many fans excited to show off their costumes again. Good evening, I'm Kelda Yoon. Well, in just a few days, the mask mandate in Ontario will be lifting in most settings. That includes public schools, despite an effort by the Toronto District School Board to extend the rule. The change will come into effect on the same day that students return from March break. And some parents and kids say they aren't quite ready to ditch the mask. Our Greg Ross has more.
While many students are excited about the prospect of baring their faces in class,
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
some are not quite ready.
I don't want to go back to school without a mask quite yet.
The reaction amongst parents that we talked to today was mixed. Many applaud the change.
I think it's time for children to be free and to be free of using masks.
Others don't believe it's the right time for their kids.
We want her to still have a bit of the say in it, so she's, I think, on the fence a little bit with the mask mandate, but we're going to tell her to wear it for now.
For some, the change couldn't come soon enough. Bronwyn Alsop has a hearing-impaired son.
Unfortunately, he needs to lip read. So for him, he cannot lip read properly with having teachers have masks on, having his peers have masks on.
The TDSB and the union that represents elementary school teachers are concerned about kids being out in crowded places like the Ripley's Aquarium over the March break, and they feel that the safer option would have been to extend the mask mandate for at least a couple of more weeks.
Safety must always be in the forefront. It must be all about protecting our most vulnerable, our students, those who can't be vaccinated.
If you take another week or two to do it, it kind of makes people feel a little more confident that we're rolling it out and seeing how it, what's happening in the schools, as opposed to just snapping your fingers and, whatever happens, happens.
TDSB Chair Alexander Brown says there are still some circumstances where students will be required to wear a mask.
If you travel outside of the country, if you've been in contact with someone with COVID, or if you've had to isolate at home for the 5-day period, and when you come back, you have to wear the mask again.
And he says any students or faculty who still want to continue wearing a mask will have that option. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
Dr. Peter Juni is stepping down as scientific director of the province's COVID-19 Science Advisory Table in a few weeks. Juni, who is originally from Switzerland, has led the table since its formation in July of 2020. He says he has accepted a tenured professorship at the University of Oxford in England to be closer to his family in Europe. Juni says he is heartbroken to leave and describes his work with the Science Table as the single most important experience of his career. Dr. Theresa Tam says the Omicron subvariant BA.2 appears to be more transmissible than the original.
BA.2 does not appear to be associated with more severe illness in vaccinated populations. However, it is still capable of causing severe disease among people without prior immunity, which underscores the importance of getting up to date with COVID-19 vaccines, including a booster if you're eligible.
Tam called the emergence of Omicron a game changer, as primary doses of COVID-19 weren't enough to stop it. She says the federal government is reviewing its previous vaccine mandates, and the country's COVID-19 policies may soon move from an emphasis on requirements toward recommendations. And while the spread of the subvariant BA.2 has been relatively slow in Canada, health officials warn that if cases increase again, hospitalizations could also rise. A man found guilty of murder in the deaths of an Ajax woman and 2 of her children was escorted out of the courtroom during his sentencing hearing today. Corey Fenn was found guilty last month of 3 counts of second-degree murder in the 2018 deaths of Krasimira Pechanovsky, her 13-year-old daughter, Vanelia, and her 14-year-old son, Roy. Now, during today's hearing, Fenn interrupted while a victim impact statement was read from the children's aunt, saying, "Don't blame me, lady." He watched the remaining statements from another room by video. A second-degree murder carries an automatic life sentence of at least 10 years behind bars before eligibility for parole. Crown prosecutors have requested Fenn not be eligible for parole for 72 years. Well, turning to the latest in Ukraine now, where the number of people fleeing the country continues to grow. The UN's refugee agency says the number is now close to 3.3 million. You're looking at new images of refugees arriving in Romania. That country has received 500,000 refugees, second only to Poland. And there are some inspiring healthcare heroes coming out of the war in Ukraine, including one from right here in the GTA. A harm reduction worker from the Peel region is stationed at the Poland-Ukraine border, working with the Canadian Medical Assistance Team. Ali Chiasson has his story.
Amik Singh is a registered nurse whose usual gig is in harm reduction in the region of Peel. Now he's stationed at the Poland-Ukraine border. He's there on a medical mission with the Canadian Medical Assistance Team, CMAT. They receive and dole out medical supplies and perform health and wellness checks on people as they arrive at the border.
It comes in waves, so for 1 or 2 days there'll be a lull, and then you'll see 7-8 buses come at one time. Or you'll see a lot of people walk across at the same time. So some people I've encountered have come from as far as the Donetsk region, and some people haven't accessed healthcare services and they ran away.
It turns out his work in harm reduction is proving very helpful.
I come across individuals that are distressed and their coping mechanism might be alcohol. So withdrawal management comes into mind. So if I do a quick COS score to see, yeah, this person's going through withdrawal. How do you have that delicate conversation with that person saying, I'm noticing something here. You might be at risk for seizures. Or if I see somebody's using opioids as a coping mechanism.
It's a diverse team of medics with different fields of expertise, ready to jump in and help, no matter the ailment or issue.
Somebody's been neglecting their insulin for a couple of days and you do a blood sugar when they come to the warming center and it's 22. You're looking at them and saying, all right, this is a challenging number. I understand you haven't eaten and had the best diet. You don't talk about nutrition at that time. You talk about what's the insulin you were on. Let's see if we have it and we can provide it to you. And trying to have health teaching in a way that makes sense, and also trying to connect them with enough supply. So as they go towards the interior of Poland, that they have enough supply that they can do that journey safely.
The refugees are in the middle of their journeys escaping war, so Amik's interactions with each person is brief.
Knowing that these are one-time encounters, what do you hope to impart on the people that you're helping?
My goal is to make sure that as many people that I interact with in a healthcare capacity complete their passage to Poland and get the healthcare services that they need and social services that they need so they can find home, wherever home might be.
Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
Meteorologist Nick Cernkovich joins us now with a first look at the forecast. And Nick, not quite as warm as yesterday, but still a very nice day with temperatures in the double digits.
Yeah, certainly, Calda. Now, again, not quite as warm as yesterday, but yesterday we hit 17 degrees. Today, in fact, we have 14 degrees, which admittedly was a couple degrees warmer than I expected, but we had more sunshine, and goes to show you just how strong that sun is. Anyway, I don't think anybody was complaining. However, heading into tonight, things are changing. System rolling through southern Ontario, bringing with it rainfall and even the risk for a rumble of thunder as we move through tomorrow afternoon. Basically, this is going to be sort of showers on and off. So we'll see some breaks through the morning and then into the afternoon, more in the way of showers right through the evening as well before it finally tapers off. Cooler night tomorrow night as well. And yeah, this could actually be a few flurries for Sunday morning. Don't worry, they're not going to stick around. For the next 24 hours, though, here's what it looks like. 5 degrees tonight, 11 for tomorrow, so a little cooler, but still above seasonal, and rain showers. But there is a good-looking forecast for Sunday. That's coming up in just a bit.
Thanks so much, Nick. As As restrictions continue to lift and we begin learning to live with COVID, CBC Toronto is asking parents to reflect on the past 2 years, from navigating online learning to the constant changes with childcare. Host of Our Toronto, Shannon Martin, asked them what some of the toughest parts were and what lessons they've learned.
I think the unpredictability has been one of the toughest parts for me, and for my husband as well, who also has had a full-time, really intense job throughout the pandemic. For both of us, just not to know when things are going to change and how they're going to change and how that would impact us makes it really hard to plan for anything. The other thing that's been pretty tough has been, especially now, it feels like a lot of people are getting back to normal life to some extent, especially friends that we have without kids, and they're all triple vaccinated and everything. So my 3-year-old's not eligible to be vaccinated yet. Then we have a new baby at home. So just it's starting to feel like 2 different pandemics, and I'm sure you've heard this from other people too, but it's starting to feel like we're living in 2 different worlds. People who are comfortable being back out there in restaurants and sporting events and all those things, and us with young children at home that are still very much in pandemic lockdown type mode.
Making time for myself. I'm a part of the Black Moms Connection, and last year we were able to do a session called You Okay Mama, and it was about mental health and wellness for Black moms. And it was in line with where I was at the time mentally, and making sure that I do what I need to do for myself. One of the facilitators talked about us thanking our body, and I literally broke into tears because I never thought about, after 4 children, I used to do a lot of, athletics, and just the hustle and bustle of life. I've never thought about stopping to thank my body for taking all that I've thrown at it and put it through. So honestly, the lessons I've learned from COVID is what really matters to me is my children, my husband, and my health and my well-being. And it's allowed me now to make decisions that will help develop those and make those better.
Welcome back. The province is building 3 new long-term care homes in Markham and Stouffville area starting summer of 2023.
Once completed, these 3 new homes will provide 800 long-term care spaces in areas where they are obviously highly needed.
We'll provide cultural services to residents of Chinese, Filipino, and East Asian communities.
A press conference was held today at the site for one of the 3 future long-term care homes. Minister Calandra says it's part of a $6.4 billion investment by the province with an aim to improve staffing and create safer and more comfortable homes. Canada's Transport Minister has announced about $11 million in new funding for Billy Bishop Airport as travel picks up again.
These funds will help the airport recover from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and support continued air services in crucial infrastructure projects.
Now, that includes electrical upgrades, new equipment, and repairing the waterfront retaining walls. Minister Alghabra says the new money is in addition to Transport Canada's $3 million relief fund for the airport. Canadian Pacific rail trains could stop rolling across the country early Sunday morning. About 3,000 engineers, conductors, and other unionized workers have served notice that they plan to go out on strike. Now, the Teamsters Union made the announcement just hours after the Calgary-based railway said it was prepared to lock out workers. There are more than 24 outstanding contract issues, including wages, benefits, and pensions. Many business groups want the federal government to step in and prevent a work stoppage, saying any disruption would hurt the economy. Rising costs for gas and other household needs have some switching to using 2 wheels instead of 4. But much like the last 2 years, bike stores say customers should start looking early because the demand is expected to exceed the supply. Jacob Barker has more.
At Infinity Cycle, they're fixing bikes right now. That's about all they can do. Bikes to sell are slow in coming.
They will be trickling in. We have quite a few bikes on order with promise that they will be delivered from our manufacturers. But it's just a matter of them kind of, like I said, trickling in.
There are only 6 to sell on the floor. The shop has been dealing with a supply crunch persisting since a big shortage during the pandemic last year. With spring incoming, they've had to turn some customers away who are looking to switch from their car seat to a bike seat.
We'll get through it, and eventually we'll see some bikes on the floor.
Here at the Bike Kitchen, there has been lots of interest in recent days. Many are looking to them as a way to save money at the pump.
You can go shopping, you can do anything on a bike almost within like a 5K distance that you can in a car. So with this high gas price situation, a lot of people are looking at bikes.
They aren't feeling a supply crunch at the moment, but they say if this year is anything like last, don't expect these bikes to last long.
By the time it came to June, we didn't have very many bikes to sell, and I suspect it's going to be like that this year. So if someone is thinking of a bike, they should get out now and take a look and start their shopping.
Jacob Barker, CBC News, Windsor.
Let's go back to Nick now with a look at your full forecast. And Nick, a bit of wet weather as we head into Saturday.
Yeah, a rainy Saturday, Kelda, but fairly sunny Sunday, at least through the afternoon. So bit of a mixed bag, I suppose. Here's a look at your weather headlines. Showers for Saturday, Sunday sun, but still double-digit highs through the weekend, right through till Monday as well. Let's talk about the rain first. This system is pushing through this evening and tonight. Tomorrow, we'll see a few breaks in the rainfall. I mean, it's hard to time exactly when the rainfall breaks are going to take place. We'll see sort of waves of this moving through over the next 24 hours. But showers tomorrow on and off throughout the day. Looks like another shot of rainfall as well toward the evening hours before it tapers off. In behind it, though, I have to warn you, Sunday morning, likely to see a few flurries or wet flurries around the GTA, maybe even a centimeter of snow up toward the Collingwood area, but it's not going to stick around. Temperatures will warm up, and into Sunday afternoon, closer to about the noon hour or so, we're looking at cloud cover clearing out, and then we're back into sunshine again. That's going to help temperatures bump up just a little bit. For Monday, it looks again like a mix of sun and cloud as we move through the day on Monday. How much rain can we expect? I mean, it really kind of depends on where you are. Generally speaking, we're looking at about 10 to 20 millimeters of rain. However, there is the chance of an isolated rumble of thunder that could locally increase amounts, but generally speaking, about 10 to 20 millimeters of rain with the system. Southwestern Ontario for tonight, seeing the rainfall, temperatures at about 6 degrees right across the board. Drops off by a degree for the Golden Horseshoe with temperatures at about 5 and rain showers throughout the overnight period. Now, as we move through the long-range forecast, we've got 11s for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, clearing sky cover through Sunday afternoon. So we'll get some afternoon sunshine there. Monday, a mix of sun and cloud. Tuesday, looks like sunshine and single digits. Wednesday, unfortunately, a little bit cooler, back down to seasonal or thereabouts at 4 degrees. Kelda.
Thanks so much, Nick. Batman or Sailor Moon strolling around downtown this weekend. Don't be alarmed. They are probably heading to Toronto's Comic-Con. The event is back after a 2-year hiatus, with fans very excited to finally dust off their costumes.
It's me, Mario!
I'm Batman.
Darth Vader.
I'm the Mandalorian.
She's Hawks and I'm Villain Hawks.
I'm Jinx from Arcane. I made it myself. It took about 3 weeks, I think.
We are the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
The Recruits one. We got the cardboard here. The tank bags.
And it's incredible the amount of work that goes into these costumes. People spend weeks, sometimes months, putting together almost movie quality costumes, and you'll see them all here this weekend.
And who are you supposed to be?
So excited! This is actually my first Comic-Con. Me too.
This is my first time coming to the Comic-Con, and I find it pretty cool.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's the first time?
Yep.
And what do you think?
I think it's really nice.
I'm really excited. It's been a long time since I got to go to a convention. It's been almost 3 years.
This is fantastic, getting out, seeing everybody, and having all the kids take pictures with me.
Great, especially with this pandemic, and I'm so happy to see people, because in life you can't live without people. So I get that instant gratification. It's nice that everybody gets a chance to get out of the house, come to the show, have fun, they're just sitting home and be isolated.
Yes, it's been a huge challenge. We haven't been able to come together. These events are driven by passion. They're driven by community.
It's been so long since we've been able to be with our weirdos and dress up and have fun.
I missed it so much, and I'm just so happy to be back. We haven't set foot in the door yet, and I'm just I'm pumped.
The Toronto Blue Jays were back in action today as they hit the mound for their first spring training game. Toronto taking a 9-5 win over the Baltimore Orioles in Sarasota, Florida. The Jays belted 7 doubles to batter the Orioles. Starting pitcher Jose Barrios surrendered 2 hits in the first inning, but the team was able to rally. Toronto will take on the Philadelphia Phillies next on Saturday. And finally tonight, hundreds of the world's top young ballet hopefuls took the stage today in Toronto, all in hopes of receiving scholarships to top schools around the world. Natalie Collada got a look at the competition.
I dance about 8 hours a day.
This is where 11-year-old Karis Pendleton feels at home. Today's competition, the next step in her journey to one day dance for the Paris Opera Ballet.
My dance dream is to one day become a prima ballerina. I feel confident and I feel like I'm able to fully express myself as I'm dancing.
For the first time since the pandemic began, auditions for the Youth America Grand Prix are taking place in Toronto. Young dancers, 9 to 19 years old, are hoping for scholarships to some of the world's top ballet schools and companies.
Something in between Olympics and Oscar for ballet kids.
The competition is incredibly competitive. Of the 300 semifinalists to take the stage here, only 30 to 50 will receive scholarships.
You have to have a strength of Olympic athletes, body of the supermodel, and the acting skills of the recognized actors. So, and mindset to go through all the obstacle course and succeed in the ballet world.
A world that for many here has remained mostly online for the last 2 years.
The last time I did this was right before COVID, and I'm just excited to be back on the stage.
The results of their performances here today will be announced on Sunday. Natalie Collada, CBC News, Toronto.
And that is our show for you tonight and for the week. Thank you so much for watching. Shannon Martin has you covered tomorrow and Sunday. I will see you back here Monday at 11. Have a great weekend, everyone.